use my mom's recipe from a recipe book she made for me about 30 years ago with all of her recipes. And most banana bread recipes call for 2 bananas. We're gonna use 3. Just makes your banana bread more moist. And my mom and I owned a catering company a long time ago and at the army base close to where we live. And yeah, the soldiers kind of ate us out of house and home on banana bread. So we had regular customers who bought about 5, 6 big, nice, big, thick slices like that every single day. So we're gonna get started right away here. We're just gonna do a little bit of clearing up here and we're gonna get started. So the kids have measured their oil into their container. I'm gonna measure mine. And we're actually gonna cut the camera for the mixing because that mixer gets loud. The original recipe that I have calls for margarine, but I decided to use the sunflower oil. I actually just prefer it because I really, really, really don't like margarine. The next thing that we're gonna add is a cup of sugar. Oop, wrong measure. So we're gonna grab our 1 cup measuring cup, just kind of give it a little smooth, and we're gonna add that in, and you kids can do yours. So you might be wondering why I'm doing 2, and that's because they want chocolate chips. I want walnuts. So we decided to compromise. They're gonna do chocolate chips, I'm gonna do walnuts in mine. And as soon as we get that sugar mixed, we're gonna cut out again, and we'll be right back, and you guys won't even notice it probably. Okay. It has to be a right full cup, girl, Joe and Jalen.
Maybe I should have to go with this.
Maybe pull it closer to you. Good. Dump it in. It's still not a full cup, but just take a teeny bit more. Yeah, looks good. Yours would be a little sweeter. Okay, so we're gonna start mixing, and once we get this all mixed up, we'll come back to our next step. Back, guys. So, that wasn't too hard mixing up the sugar and the oil, was it?
Oh, no.
Good. So next what we have is we have our bananas, and they look kind of grody because they are overripe bananas, and they've been frozen. So we've taken them out, let them thaw, and we put them into the bowl. And most fruits and vegetables will get watery. And we're gonna add our eggs to our banana. And we're also gonna add our vanilla to our bananas. So vanilla, how much is it? It's a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm gonna get these guys to use the actual measuring spoon, but I'm just gonna use the lid.
How much?
1/2 teaspoon.
1/2 teaspoon.
Okay, pour it in there. And then we're just gonna mix up and mash our banana in with our egg.
Yeah.
Just get it all nice and blended. Kind of looks gross. So if you're squeamish, don't look. Okay, so go ahead and stir that up, guys. Get it all mixed. And also, while the kids were beating their oil and sugar, what I had Joe do is he measured out his flour, which is a 1.5 cups of flour. He measured out his baking soda, not baking powder, and that was 1 teaspoon. And then the salt, which is a 1/2 teaspoon. And so because this is a bread or a cake, but it's a heavier cake, so there are certain steps that you have to follow to mix it. So we now have our sugar and oil, we have our flour, salt, and baking powder, we have our banana, egg, and vanilla. Did you guys put the vanilla in?
Yep.
Don't forget that. Okay, our last step is gonna be to add our nuts and our chocolate chips. And I don't know if you noticed, but I got 3 pans over there, and that's because I have enough bananas to make another extra loaf, and I'm gonna actually make that one plain. But it's really not that difficult to do. So the next thing that we're gonna do is beat in our banana, egg, vanilla mix into our sugar. So you guys can pour that into your sugar mixture. And again, we're gonna beat that with beef off camera because it's so noisy. And we'll be right back. Okay, so we have mixed our banana and our sugar and eggs and oil and what else was in there? Vanilla. I think that's it. And so if our cameraman wants to come over and get a shot of kind of what it looks like, it's kind of thick and kind of, I don't know, doesn't look that appealing, does it? It looks better when it's like actual banana bread. Can have a shot of the other one too. Okay, our next step is we're gonna add our dry ingredients and we're gonna do what's called folding. So you're just gonna turn over and over, over and over, until your flour is mixed in with your banana mixture. And one of the things that makes this banana bread is so good and so moist is because of the extra banana. So don't worry if it's looking a little moist. It's actually supposed to look that way. But and be careful, guys, not to overmix it. So it's going to be slightly lumpy. All right? Our next step is going to be, they're going to add some chocolate chips and I am going to add some walnuts because I really like walnuts. Now, the walnuts and the chocolate chips, you want to just stir until they're mixed in. You don't want to overmix this. This is why we're not using a mixer. And generally it calls for 3/4 cup, but just like my pancakes, I like a lot of nuts. Just like I liked a lot of fruit in my pancakes, I like a lot of nuts in my banana bread. So I'm just gonna sprinkle them in. If the camera dude wants to come over and have another look. There was a little bit of flour on here, so in the cup. So I'm just gonna fold until they're kind of all mixed in to our mixture. And this is a baking soda activated food, so you can't leave it in the bowl too long, or as soon as baking soda gets wet, it starts to activate the baking soda and it starts to rise. Okay, that's good. Add your cup of blueberries in there. Or not blueberries, wow, I'm at a different level today, aren't I, guys? Chocolate chips. And who doesn't like chocolate and bananas? Hey guys, do you know what a ghost's favorite fruit is?
What?
Banana. Okay, that was funny. Okay, mix. Mix. How much do you put in there? That looks like a lot more than a cup. Oh, I think you kind of maybe over measured a little bit, but that's okay. Who doesn't like chocolate chips?
This is making a very disturbing sound.
Okay, that's good. Okay, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna scrape down the sides of our bowl and we're gonna pour our batter into our loaf pans because it is banana bread after all. The other recipe, when I make them plain, I'm actually gonna make muffins out of them because you can use this for muffins or, I don't know, let your imagination go wild. Let's get it into the pan. Now, banana bread actually does take a long time to cook. My mom in her recipe, well, it doesn't actually say how long it takes, but I remember her telling me, oh, it takes a half an hour, but I've never found banana bread cooks in a half an hour. There's just so much moisture in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop these in the oven as soon as these guys get theirs in the bowl. Yeah, look at how much more full theirs is than mine. I think that they added just a smidgen more chocolate chips than a cup. Give it a good scrape, guys. Make sure you get it all. And as you can see, I've already started my oven. Oh, you can't see because the timer's on. Let's take the timer off. I've already started and preheated my oven to 350 degrees. It's a pretty standard kind of temperature for a lot of baking. There are a few exceptions. Pies, a lot of times you'll start it at 400, leave it for 10 minutes, and then turn it down to 350. We don't really need oven mitts yet. Well, maybe we do when we pull out the rack. Okay, so I'm gonna open up the oven. I'm gonna pull out the rack and we're gonna get our banana bread going. Go ahead and slide it in. Yeah, lengthways. Good job. And put mine in there as well. And I'm going to set our timer for 40 minutes. When the timer goes, I'm going to check it. It's the same thing as cake. When you bake a cake, you do a test with a toothpick and check to see if your toothpick comes out clean. Oh, look at that, way over. Just give me a second. I can't focus on two things. All right. So, all you guys out in TV land, what do you think of my haircut? I got it yesterday. My sister came over and did my hair. She does a really good job. And I'm very happy with it. It looks fantastic and it's not hanging all shaggy in my face. So, when the 40 minutes is up, we're gonna test and we'll probably film that so that you can kind of get a look and see how long it takes. And then we'll come back to filming as soon as it's done. So we'll see you in a few minutes.
Hey Jalynn, why do bananas wear sunscreen?
Why?
Because they peel.
All right, so our timer went, so 40 minutes has gone, and as you can see, I decided to make muffins. And let's have a look at our banana bread. Now it's looking a little dark on the outside, but that doesn't really mean anything. We want to make sure it's cooked on the inside. It is starting to crack, so it's actually getting very close, but our toothpick is still coming back a little bit dirty, so we don't want to take them out too early. But I'm gonna guess that our muffins are probably done. Yeah, this is, I don't know if Jaden can get that into the photo, but or into the video, but it's not quite ready. The loaves, they take a little bit longer because it has to, all the heat has to cook everything in the center. Here's our muffins. Oh yeah, muffins are ready. These are coming out clean, clean, clean. So as you can see, nothing on the stick. Another way to tell if something's done like this, you just give it a little press, and if it bounces back, it's ready. And we don't want to have burnt banana muffins. So I'm gonna pull these little puppies right out of the oven. Don't want raw banana and dough in the middle. Uncooked dough is gross. Plus, you can actually get intestinal parasites from uncooked flour. So just give another little quick check. I'm just gonna clean my toothpick really well. Pop it in. I can tell by feeling though it's done. And you can see that everything came out nice and clean. A little bit of chocolate chip. I did say I was gonna make these plain, but I decided to go with chocolate chip since that's the family favorite. So when the bread is done, we'll come back and we'll have a tasting time. We might have to let it cool a little bit because it's gonna be pretty darn hot. So, okay, we'll see you in a little bit. Our muffins are done. You saw we took those out, and the nut bread is done. The chocolate chip bread isn't quite done. It's got maybe another 10 minutes. It's been about 50 minutes since we popped the first loaf in the oven, the nut loaf, and the muffins took 40 minutes. So the kids are gonna taste them because they're chocolate chip, and I'm not a huge chocolate chip fan. So you guys can each take a muffin. Do you want to pass one to Justin?
Did you put butter in them?
I did put butter in them, and they're still a little warm, so you can see the butter is melting. So how they taste, guys?
Good.
With the chocolate chips is good? I knew you guys would like that, and they're nice and messy. Okay, so thanks for watching another Aspiring Teen Chefs video. And like, subscribe, and hit the bell, and then you'll get more notifications. We're gonna do our darndest this year to do at least one video a week, and it's almost November now, as we get into December, what we're gonna try and do is show you some of the Christmas treats that I make. Carrot pudding, nalezniki, cabbage rolls, pierogies, and tortilla, which is French Canadian meat pie, which is very good. And we're gonna make all of those things, and yeah. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.